This is TWiT.
Yeah, OneDrive. We got to talk about this. So
Man.
this, I'm gonna throw a
Why
rhetorical
is this
question.
going so far off the rails?
I have moaned about this over the past few weeks or whatever. I'm sure you're all tired of it. I am here to let you know it just got worse. And I'm not going to recap the whole thing, but the last development was that Microsoft was silently enabling folder sharing in OneDrive after I had said no to it during setup and had gone into the product and turned it off, depending on the computer, or I should say, not that. So what happens is I'll delete a file from my desktop is the usual way I find this out. And it says, hey, did you know when you delete stuff from OneDrive, something happens? And I'm like, hey, did you know that my desktop is not in OneDrive? What the hell's going on? And what they've done is they've silently...
You were wrong.
They silently turn on folder backup. I can't stand this. Yeah. So, okay, that's bad, right? Everything I talked about before stands. It's all happening still. It's terrible. I don't like what's happening. This is all, I think of this as the coming 23H2 problem, okay? Because most of you are going to hit this when you upgrade to this version of the OS. That's when you're going to see the problems.
I mean, but you'd hope that they'll have this fixed by then?
Fixed? That's funny, because you're suggesting this is a problem.
Oh, right.
So here's the thing. Yeah. So the way this has worked to date, whether it was doing this maliciously or not or whatever, is that you go into OneDrive, you go into settings, OneDrive settings, you navigate to sync and backup, you click on manage backup, and you see what it's doing. And from this interface, you can turn on or turn off folder backup for 5 folders, right? Documents, pictures, desktop, music, and videos. And why those are not alphabetized, I don't know. I have ADD, so that bugs me. But anyway, when it turns this on for you automatically, it's only 3 of the folders. Yeah. It's documents, pictures, and desktops, like the important one, the important ones. Okay. All right. So in the past, when I clicked on the toggle to turn off one of those things, you'll be surprised to know it turned off those things. That's how it worked. So you went click, and okay, and you were out. So you call it, I guess, 4 steps. I don't know however you want to count. Here's what it does now. Totally different. How many steps do you think it is now, Richard? If you had to guess, how many steps?
I'm sure they've increased it just to up the front.
They have absolutely increased it. So here's what happens. You click toggle off on any one of the folders, and it says, are you sure you want to stop backing up? This is important. We like to back up. And you're like, yeah, I'm sure.
We're here to help you.
There's one extra step. Then it says, okay, but here's the deal. You have files in that folder. What do you want us to do with them? This is actually kind of interesting, right? Because anyone who's done this in the past knows. It puts us, to date, it has put a shortcut in the folder that says this is where your files are. Because if you think about it, your files are in OneDrive. You've said, I want to use the local folders. It didn't move anything around. It just went to the local folder. Right. So in the local folder, it would say, hey, do you want to know where your files are? Here's where they are. Now they're actually giving you a choice. So the first choice is don't do what you're doing. Stop this madness. Let us back it up.
What we want you to do.
Yep. Or you could put it in OneDrive, or you can put it in the computer. So actually, I appreciate this choice, although it's a nicety that comes out of them doing something terrible.
But it also feels like they phrase it in a way where you're going to be unsure enough that you're going to say, okay, I'm stopping.
It's super confusing. Yep.
Yeah, it's designed to make you uncertain.
Yep. It's definitely socially engineered. But this is the second step.
But we're not done yet.
So you make a choice. I don't care what you chose. You continue, right? Well, actually, you could cancel, but I'm going to say you continue. Then it pops up a thing that says, hey, we stopped backing up this folder. Oh, okay.
I hope you're happy.
Right. I mean, that's what the toggle would have told me that, but okay. So there's 3 steps.
Yeah.
Now, multiply that by all. Oh, I'm sorry. There's one more. Sorry. Then, this is beautiful. It pops up a feedback screen. It's a big one. And it says, hey, why are you doing this? And it gives you all these reasons you can choose. And you can write a little thing in there.
No.
Right. So there's 4. There's 4 steps. This is just for one of the 3 choices.
Don't worry, we're going to ask you about Chrome next.
Yes.
You know what I do?
So 4 times 3.
I uninstall OneDrive completely.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So look, if you encounter this and you don't like this like I don't, please do take the time to provide the feedback. I mean, they need to hear this, but they're not listening to me, that's for sure. So I've just described 4 steps. Times 3 is 12. We're not done. The second we're not done. The second you disable any folder from backing up to OneDrive, 2 other things happen. So the total is, 14 steps, 14 extra steps. The first one is their OneDrive icon gets a little bang icon, a little overlay.
Right. Oh no, something bad is happening. You've made
and you're like, oh my God, what is this? So you finish doing all your OneDrive folder backup configuration. You close it all down. Now you're like, what's wrong with OneDrive? And it pulls up this little window, and actually it's a little overlay inside of the OneDrive thing. It says, there are some ways that Microsoft OneDrive can make you more efficient. Click here to get started. Guess what it does? It turns on folder backup. Yeah. That's not it. It also simultaneously to this pops up a banner notification at the bottom of the thing. And this is what it says. Get to know OneDrive. Learn how to protect your files using, wait for it, folder backup. You know what? This is a family show, and I'm not going to say what I'm thinking, but are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, if you thought I was exaggerating before, let me tell you something. Microsoft called my bluff, and
they leveled up.
They're going to town. So the only caveat to all this I will say is, and Richard sort of suggested this earlier on, maybe they'll fix it. Maybe they will have enough bad feedback from this. Maybe.
How many bags of flaming dog poop do we need to put on store steps?
It is comical to me that if you had said to me last week, after I'd written all the stuff I'd written about this, that, Paul, you're just wait. It's going to get way worse than this.
It's
going to get way worse than this next week. I would have been like, there's no way.
Well, they've been planning for it. It's in a milestone.
This is malicious. This makes me crazy. That makes no sense. So yeah, I mean, and Leo said it. I mean, this is the type of thing that drives people to be like, I give up. I can't do this anymore.
I'm going to box.
I can't do this anymore. And I maybe to be fair to Microsoft, people in the drama here, people lose sight of something, which is that I do know and believe that OneDrive folder backup is the best solution for a lot of people, normal people. It's like a helmet law for motorcycles. It's saving people from their own stupidity. That you might reset a computer or something bad happens, and you know what? Don't worry about it. All your important stuff is up in the cloud, and I 100%. But the flip side of that is that's not true for everybody, and there are technical reasons why they wouldn't know why, but there are reasons why you wouldn't want this doing this. If I look at this is different on this computer. When I wrote this article, I looked at my documents folder, which is a local folder. I don't use the documents folder, but there are several folders in here. From Adobe, Microsoft, something called New Blue FX, Obsidian Vault, Scan Documents, Zoom, all kinds of stuff. And on this computer, that takes up 1.2. I don't want that stuff syncing to the cloud. And by the way, those applications don't respect that. They'll overwrite it on every computer because they don't recognize the whatever the thing that came over from a different computer. And I like, if I'm not paying for this, that's 1.5 or 1.25, whatever I said, of 5 gigabytes of storage that I get from Microsoft for free. You're sucking up my storage with stuff I don't need. It's
then stuff I didn't ask for.
But it's not just that. The bigger issue for me, and this is for me, but it really is for anybody who has decisions to make and wants their decisions to be respected by a thing that is a tool. I explicitly went into this and turned this off.
Yeah.
In this case, twice. And you keep turning it on. You're not respecting my decision. This is what they did with Edge, right? When they at first did not allow you to configure a default browser in Windows 11, and they got so much complaints, they put a little default thing that only did some defaults. And then you do certain things like search highlights or widgets or whatever, and it still launches Edge. That's what this is. This is enshittification. It's nonsense.
Well, yeah. You said backup. You didn't mean backup.
Yeah, I mean, geez, it's insane. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a rant there, but I never in my wildest dreams would have thought a week ago that this could have gotten worse again. This
kind of impressive, really.
No, even given my entire 30-year history at Microsoft, I never saw this coming.
I can't wait for next week.
That's maliciousness at scale. It's astonishing, Good for them. They can move fast.
Paul, are you going to take all your Windows PCs and throw them out the window?
Here's the truth. I get seriously, people will ping me on Twitter or email, and they'll be like, tell the truth. Like, if you weren't doing what you do, like you'd use a Mac or a Chromebook or something. It's like, no, actually I wouldn't. I really do prefer Windows for all kinds of reasons. And God knows Microsoft's doing everything they can to undermine that. But as of today, still, 30 years in, whatever. No, I very much prefer Windows. I use Macs fairly regularly. I keep, I test it and I do stuff. And I never once, after a few minutes, like, man, this is, I really want to go to this.
I don't know why I'm wasting my time. I got to live here. Yeah.
Yeah, never. That never happens to me. So no.
Bring me to the walled garden. I want to live happily ever after.
But I'm also, despite all the years, it still bugs me so much when things don't work, and I don't understand.
How did you?
It's astonishing. It could be anything. You're on your phone, and this thing pops up, and you're like, no, and you're like, why isn't it? What it's like, is this designed not to tap? It's not just Windows, right? It's everything. Yeah. But this is my life. I mean, this is what I cover. This is what I write about. This is where I live. And does Google and Apple, they do terrible things? Yeah, I'm sure they do. I don't care. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about Windows.
Nice.
And that was Paul Thurrott's Microsoft Cloud Show Corner. Join us next week as Paul finds something else that's driving him nuts.
Right.
Hey there, I'm Micah Sargent. Look, as a geek myself, I feel it's only fair if I admit something. We can be kind of hard to shop for. So what do you get for that geek in your life who has everything already? Well, a Club TWiT gift subscription, of course. TWiT podcasts keep them informed and entertained with the most relevant tech news podcasts available. With a Club TWiT subscription, they're going to get access to all of our podcasts ad-free, exclusive outtakes, behind the scenes and special content, and I love this, exclusive shows like my own Hands on Mac and Hands on Windows from Paul Thurrott, as well as the Untitled Linux Show. So purchase your geek's gift at twit.tv/clubtwit, and they will thank you every day.